kicking off the final hour of the show by looking at Doonbeg, where residents are being invited to help shape the future of their community through a new public consultation aimed at developing an ambitious 5-year plan for the village. The survey is seeking ideas on social, economic and environmental initiatives that could make Doonbeg an even better place to live, work and socialise. To discuss the project and what it could mean for the area, we're joined now on the line by the Fianna Fáil Doonbeg councillor Rita McInerney and local resident Jennie Drysdale. And a very good morning to both of you, and thanks for joining me on the show. Rita, can you tell us more about this new survey and what the overall aim of the 5-year strategy for Doonbeg is?
Good morning, Alan. I suppose the Smart Village initiative is about creating a clear community-led vision for Doonbeg over the next 5 years, developed by the community for the community. So as part of that, we want to hear from residents, businesses, farmers, our community groups, younger people and older people in the community to see what they believe the future of Doonbeg should look like. So I suppose the survey is one important part of that process, and we want as many people as possible to take part, particularly those who might not normally, attend, say, official meetings and things like that. So every response, and it is anonymous, will build a clear picture of what matters most to people locally, and I suppose whether people have lived in Doonbeg all their lives or whether they've recently moved to the area, which we have quite a number of, which is great to see. All of their opinions are valuable in shaping that plan.
And Jennie, I would imagine there's going to be a great response to this, but how important is it that local people are given an opportunity to help shape the future of their own community?
It's very important, Alan, and good morning. It's absolutely key to make this programme a success. We want to hear from everybody, young to my 95-year-old mum. We need to get their input. And, this is something that Doonbeg has done in the past, not necessarily this survey, but there have been projects and game changer things that have happened in Doonbeg, and they've come from the residents of Doonbeg. Let's bring up the golf course. That was an idea 24 years ago, and here we are. We're going to have the Irish Open. And the Jazz Fest came from a visitor who was sitting in the pub, and he says, what Doonbeg needs is an international jazz fest. So the wisdom is in with the group within the village for those great ideas that are going to help shape the future of Doonbeg.
Yeah, and I guess, Rita, the survey is asking people to be creative and share their ambitions for the village, and holding an international jazz festival mightn't have occurred to everybody at the time, but it has proven to be a roaring success. So what kind of feedback are you hoping to receive?
Well, I suppose it's kind of blue sky thinking at this stage, and it's a genuine opportunity for people to shape the future direction of Doonbeg. And I suppose the more voices that are involved, the stronger and more representative the final strategy will be for the next 5 years. So I would encourage everyone to complete the survey. It's an online survey. It literally takes a couple of minutes. So it's an important part of this process. We're also in the middle of doing workshops, which we're, also opening up to people who want to get more intensively involved as well. We're going through about 6 workshops. We've 2 of them completed, and I suppose the survey is one thing that came out of those workshops, but those workshops will continue, and it'll use the survey to then start shaping the future plan. So it's about services, it's about facilities, it's about what kind of businesses or housing or amenities people would like to see in Doonbeg, which could genuinely grow that. And it's about being innovative, and I suppose using local knowledge to do that. So smart villages, people sometimes think, oh, that's technology. It's not. It's more about smart ways to improve the quality of life and improve services and create opportunities for people as well, and basically strengthen the community connections.
And Jennie, you touched on, Doonbeg is great as a place to host events and have occasions like in sport, be it the Irish Open, in music, the Jazz Festival, obviously, the creative arts as well, the West Clare Drama Festival too. Is that one of the greatest strengths of Doonbeg at the moment? Are there other feathers in the cap for the village?
I think that is the best strength of Doonbeg. I mean, Doonbeg, we know how to get it done. And just to touch on what Rita says, it's also about, livability. What makes a place a good place to live? And she touched on that, housing, jobs, services. We have a great sense of community where everybody can thrive here. And Doonbeg, we're just not a location on a map. It's about feeling that you belong, it's connection, it's pride that we have in our community. And when you have that, it becomes special because people care about the village and they invest in it, and they know who we are. So that's why this survey is important. We want to get those good ideas. And not only that, there's nothing wrong with stealing a good idea. If we have somebody in the community that was visiting somewhere else and thought, boy, that's a great plan. That should happen in Doonbeg. Put it in the survey.
You're only borrowing the idea, Jennie. You're not stealing it. If you do it well, it's borrowing.
That's right. Exactly. And I know that, the survey is accessed online for our listeners today. If they're interested in getting a paper copy, all they need to do is call the community office, and we'll be more than happy to get them a paper copy to complete the survey as well too.
And Rita, the strategy is looking at a lot of different initiatives, be it environmental, social, economic. Are there particular areas where you feel the village could make significant progress, be that an area where positive things are happening but it could be expedited, or areas where there does need to be a bit of a shoulder to the wheel kind of mentality?
Well, I suppose we have a long tradition of community involvement and volunteering, as Jennie says, and a lot of strong. When we did Jennie was involved in organising this Community Connections event a few months ago, which was a huge success. And they estimated that there was 44 different organisations in Doonbeg. So that's great from a community perspective. But when you look at services and facilities, that's sometimes where people, there's been great initiatives recently around the new defibrillator group as well, and we have recently, completed in the last year the playground, where I feel that perhaps there's a gap in services is for our teenagers. I do feel that we need to look at ideas and facilities and projects for our teenagers to get involved in, and young people. So that's why we'd love to hear from them, and they're very au fait with online, and it's very easy for them to fill out the survey as well. So I think that's important, that there's more facilities and services available for our young people.
Would you agree with that, Jennie? The younger cohort need more amenities and facilities, and indeed, what role could improved amenities, community facilities or recreational spaces play in the future development of Doonbeg?
Well, that group is so important, and I took a look at the 2022 census, and we have 283 people in Doonbeg between the ages of 0 and 19, and they're the future of Doonbeg. They really are the future of Doonbeg, and they have a say in what the future of Doonbeg looks like by completing this survey.
And I just wonder, Rita, through your role as a councillor, aside from what you've just highlighted there, are there recurring issues or concerns that residents have raised with you over the years that work needs to be done on, that perhaps you would expect to feature to be mentioned quite a bit in the survey by locals?
Well, I think the one that comes to mind, of course, is housing and how we shape our housing stock in the village. And again, then addressing another cohort in terms of older people. What is evident in a lot of communities is there's older people, particularly those living on their own, maybe out the country that would like to move into a village setting and be in a smaller unit and be able to access services and avail of facilities that way. I think that shaping our housing stock and ensuring that we have the right mix of houses for older residents and for families, and also for our visitors. It is important that we have a cohort of tourism-based housing as well, and it's to get that balance right. And I suppose through this process as well, we can shape that, but also through this process we can look at accessing funding. So I suppose by developing a plan, and if you're going to organisations and government looking for funding, and you can see, well, there's a reason for this project. This came out of the survey that people need this facility or want this service. Well, then it's easier to go to those organisations, whether it be transport or amenities. It's much easier to go to those looking for funding if you have strong database, data-driven research done as to the need and why the facility or service is important.
And once the consultation period ends, how will the results of the survey be used? What will happen from then? And when can people expect to see the findings and the next steps in terms of developing the plan?
Well, I suppose we're working through the workshop. So we have a facilitator, which is this initiative is through the Clare Local Development Company. So the consultation period, the survey period will be open for the summer period, and as we go into the next workshops, then we'll be looking at the results of those and shaping it, putting it into a plan and putting it into a vision, and getting things down on paper, and then I suppose that will go back out for people to look at and to review and to see the results of that plan. So it's all part of the workshop process. So it'll be used as part of that to develop the plan and grow it and put some shape to it. So, these workshops are happening. They started before the summer, but obviously we have a busy summer period with, tourism and people farming and businesses busy and people have holidays. So we're hoping then towards the autumn we'll get to finalise things and develop the plan from there.
And Jennie, to finish with yourself, did you get a sense people in the community are exercised in a positive way by this survey? They're eager to have their voices heard. What would you like to see emerge from the survey, the kind of legacy that perhaps the 5-year strategy will leave for future generations in the village?
Well, we've certainly had good feedback and a good amount of surveys that have been completed so far, and it's just been a week. So that's been very, very positive. And I would add that these workshops that we're holding, they're open to everybody in the community. And our next one is June 19th at 3 o'clock, 3 to 5 at the community hall. So if that sounds like one of our listeners sounds interested in attending that workshop and being a part of this project, that would be absolutely fantastic. Just stop on by and come and see us. Now, in answer to your second part of your question, Alan, the survey is anonymous. So if I tell you, I'm kind of breaking my anonymity with that survey, but...
Come on, it's just between you, me and the people of Clare.
Okay, well, I come also from the Tidy Towns group, okay? So the environment is very important to me. So that's what I would be focusing on in Doonbeg is the environment pillar. So circular economy, sustainable energy coming from there. It would be great if we had 20 households that wanted to get solar panels. We could get together as a group and work with one vendor, and that could save people money and in effect affect the environment as well too. So those are the kind of things that I think would be key for the future of Doonbeg.
Okay, it's going to be really interesting to see what emerges from all of this, but there's some serious brainstorming going on and going to be going on in Doonbeg, but exciting times for the village. Jennie and Rita, thank you very much to both of you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan.
And we'll speak to you again, the Doonbeg Fianna Fáil councillor Rita McInerney and local resident there, Jennie Drysdale.